You ever wake up to the sound of gravel crunching under tires on your own land and realize it ain't just one car, but the same damn SUV, every single day? Yeah. That's how this circus started. Two women sisters, both named Karen by some cosmic joke or poor parenting, decided my land was their personal shortcut. And I mean, they drove right across it, like it was a public road or part of the HOA walking trail. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. It was my property, paid in full, deed and all straight up, no mortgage. Now before y'all go thinking maybe it was just an accident the first time, no. I talked to them. Politely. I even brought lemonade. Said, hey, you're actually driving over my land, you probably didn't realize, and I swear on a stack of lawsuit filings, Karen 1 looked me dead in the eye and said, it's not like you're using it. I blinked. Ma'am, it's land. It's mine. That's like saying I don't need my left foot just 'cause I'm not dancing. But they didn't stop. Not after the first warning, not after I put up signs, not even after I called the HOA. You'd think the HOA would step in and say, hey, quit it. But nope, turns out the Karens were on the HOA board. Shocker. Big surprise. One of them even chaired the Property Integrity Committee. The irony almost knocked me off my porch. So I did what any man who's been pushed far enough does. I got petty. But strategic. I went down to the courthouse, pulled my deed, highlighted my boundary lines, and marked exactly where they were trespassing. Then I called a buddy who drills wells real deep, real official. I asked him, what's the legal depth I can go without needing a permit? He said, 30 feet. Why? I just smiled. Let's dig a well dead center of the Karen Highway. So we did. Right in their little path, wide enough to fit a tire, deep enough to swallow one. I even painted a bright red circle around it so no one could say it wasn't marked. Safety first, you know. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, Karen 2 must have been texting while driving because BAM rear tire dropped in, front axle bounced like a trampoline. She stumbled out of that SUV screaming like she got shot, yelling at the sky, at the well, and at me. Claimed I booby-trapped her. I said, ma'am, that's a water well. On my land. Which you've been warned not to drive across. And that's when it got real stupid. She called the sheriff. Not the non-emergency line 911. Told them I endangered her life. I laughed. Sheriff showed up, looked at the tire in the hole, looked at the signs, looked at me. Then he turned to her and said, ma'am, this here is private property. That's a legal well. You got no right driving across it. She threatened a lawsuit. Of course she did. Because in Karenland, logic is optional and lawsuits are a first language. But I welcomed it. Told her, you go ahead and sue me. I'd love to see you explain to a judge why your Lexus is parked inside a water well on my land. Now here's the kicker: when she did file that lawsuit, she dragged in the HOA claiming they had an easement across my property. So I brought in my title lawyer, old Mr. Devons, 78 years old and sharp as a hawk with a grudge. He stood up in court and said, Your Honor, there is no recorded easement, and I have 43 years of property law behind this assertion. What we do have is repeated trespassing by two individuals who used their HOA titles as a weapon. The courtroom got quiet. Like, pin drop silent. Judge asked the HOA president, who wasn't one of the Karens, thank God, if they had any documentation proving right of way. She just shook her head like she'd eaten something sour. Turns out, they'd forged a memo, claiming I had given them verbal permission. But guess who had security camera footage with sound? Yep. Yours truly. Played that clip where Karen 1 said, You're not using it. Whole room watched it like it was the season finale of some legal drama. Judge slammed the gavel, called their claims egregiously false, and dismissed the case with prejudice. That means they couldn't refile, by the way. Learned that from Devons. Then came the fallout. HOA board called an emergency meeting. Karen 2 was removed for falsifying records. Karen 1 tried to run for board president the following month and got exactly 2 votes, hers and her sister's. Somebody even started a group chat called "No More Karens." Their power crumbled like a Walmart shelf under a Thanksgiving rush. Last I saw, their SUV was gone, house went up for sale, and rumor is they moved to Florida. Probably arguing with seagulls and city zoning boards as we speak. I still got the well, by the way. Put a little stone circle around it, planted lavender. Neighbors call it the Karen trap. We laugh, but I'll tell you there's something real satisfying about defending what's yours, especially when the law's on your side and the lies fall apart in daylight. So next time someone threatens you with a lawsuit just to scare you off your own land, smile, grab your documents, and maybe dig a well or two. And hey, if you like real stories where the bad guys lose and the land bites back, go ahead and subscribe. I've got plenty more where that came from.